All right, welcome back, guys, to part two, segment number two for the Fantasy Football and Chill podcast. We are going to be talking about the history of the Las Vegas odds for the Super Bowl for this segment, and we're going to go around and talk about the odds that came out this week for the Eagles. And I'm going to share a tab with you guys, and we're going to go through it. But real quick, Josh wants to do a little intro song before we get going.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
No? Okay. I guess it's only off camera. Okay. Can you guys see the screen okay?
Yep.
Okay. So the main thing I want to focus on is the spread for the games and talk about. So for anyone that doesn't know, looking at spread and betting, and Cade, you probably definitely know more about odds and betting than I do. Austin too. So if you guys want to add anything, go ahead and just chirp in. But minus, you can see the Eagles are coming out as minus 1.5 favorites. And I learned that in sports betting, minus actually means that you're favored, and then positive. So this said like plus 1.5, it would mean that you're not favored. So as you can see, the Eagles are 1.5 favorites. And basically, we're going to go through the chart here and look at all the different spreads, like before the Super Bowls of the last like 10 to 15 years. And we're going to go through and talk about what that means for this upcoming Sunday. Okay, do you want to do a little more explaining about betting and odds? And
Yeah, like you said, as you've learned, that minus means your favorite, and plus is you're an underdog. Basically, what that kind of means in sports betting world, I'll just choose that Panthers game -5 right here. That's like the highest number I can see right now, just for
Panthers and Broncos. Yeah.
Panthers. So Panthers are favored by 5 or more points, basically, is what you'd be taking. You think the Panthers are going to win by 5 or more. If you're a fan of the Broncos in 2016, you'd be saying the Broncos might either win the game outright or they won't lose by more than 5. That's basically kind of what you look at. And then the over-under is basically the total score from both teams. As you can see, there's the over-unders as well. You add up the total points, and that's your over-under. Besides that, the only one that stands out to me is pick'em. What it means is pick'em is when I'm sure they chose the closing lines is when it by kickoff, that was the line it was at. And pick'em means it was pretty much very undecided, and the money on either side going into the game was pretty even, and you pretty much got to choose just the winner. There was no spread involved. That's pretty much it.
Jay, this is really good things you're saying, just nobody can hear it.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Somehow got muted. Anyway, so I was looking at this earlier today, and I thought it was pretty fascinating because if you look at, I want to say it was from 2000 and 1 second. Okay, so it goes all the way back to 2012. The NFL, or not the NFL, but Vegas, they missed on pretty much the majority of the games from 2012 to 2022. 2012, they picked the Patriots and the Giants won. 13, they picked the Niners and the Ravens won. 14, they picked the Broncos, Seattle won. 15, pick them. Well, they can't lose. 16, they picked the Panthers. They lost again, or the Broncos won that one. They got the Patriots one right. 18, they picked the Patriots. They're wrong. Eagles won. 19, they got that one right. 20, they got that one right. 2021, they got that one wrong because Tampa won. And then last year, they got the Rams one right. But as you can see, the trend out of those, I want to say like 10 or 11 matchups, they probably got 6 or 7 incorrect. So it's pretty interesting because these are supposed to be the experts.
Kind of tying into that information, it was kind of interesting because like when you said this, I was honestly expecting it to be a lot more one-sided, to be honest. But I feel like, yeah, as you said, like as of recently, the favorites haven't been the favorites in the spread haven't been the ones to actually cover. But what I'm seeing is what over the last 4 Super Bowls, it's been the under.
Yeah.
And I mean, let's look at the Rams Bengals. I mean, like, I wouldn't necessarily say that either of those two teams were, they had two pretty good defenses, but I wouldn't say they were completely stout. I would say their offenses were kind of driven. Same, I mean, Bucks Chiefs, you said the Bucks had an elite team all around, but the Chiefs high offense. 49ers, Chiefs, both fairly offensive. I would say both of them had a
Oh,
solid.
Niners were defense that year.
They were
Yeah,
defense,
they
but
were deep.
they definitely had. I mean, you're right. They
They,
were definitely more
they have a
notable for
top
the defense.
defense. Yeah.
But I mean, like, the only one that they actually like nailed was the Eagles Patriots game. From that point on, obviously they have not. But I feel like the real turning point was the fact that the Patriots Rams game, two of the most high powered teams in 19, put up to 16 combined points. I feel
Terrible.
like, I
Yeah,
mean,
that was
the odds
horrible.
are 50.5. So they're expecting the 27-23 game in that ballpark or
Mhm.
somewhere in that realm. And so, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we get another year of under because of just how it just seems that these Super Bowls have been playing. But, you know, trends do change. I mean, we see over,
Anything can happen.
yeah, from
So, real quick question for Cade. Is like what is like an average over under? Because I look at 50.5 and I'm thinking, okay, so that's 25.5, call it 26 points a team. That's pretty high to me.
Yeah, it is. Like you can see the lowest one scrolling down all the way to 2004 was 37.5. That's very low. Even right below that, 33 in that
Giants.
Baltimore. Those are very low
Wow.
in consideration. Usually, I would say you see anywhere from 42 to 52, I would say is your general range, give or take on offenses and defenses, whatever else Vegas is seeing there. 57 is pretty high, especially if you
2019. They
yeah,
missed pretty big on that one.
yeah. And then like the Colts Saints 157 came close, but 57 still high. I think I want to say the Chiefs. I'm trying to think of the championship games. Those ones were pretty high. Vegas had those as pretty offensive games. I want to say those were in the 50s as well. So I can't remember if some of them got to like 58, 59. Austin, I don't know if you were looking.
Are you talking about previous or are you talking about the
Yeah,
odds?
the NFC
Last
and
week.
AFC championship games, like some of those offensive teams going against each other.
I'm pretty sure the Niners Eagles game was 50 something. I don't think it was high 50s. I think it was low 50s. If I'm not incorrect.
I want to say the Bengals and Chiefs were pretty high though. They were 58, maybe 60.
I know I bet on it, so
Yeah.
let's see.
Of course you did.
While he's doing that, just one quick trend I'm seeing is the against the spread winner, as you see in that one column. It seems a very underdog heavy, based going all the way back to the 2000s. Favorites kind of sneaking, covering their spread based on what Vegas says they're better by, but usually the underdog will cover that. So it's pretty interesting. People think the underdog is going to win.
So
So this is a
for that Bengals Chiefs game, the over under for FanDuel, probably a little bit before game time, it was 40.5. They were actually expecting a lot more of a tighter game, and I mean they definitely delivered. It was what 23-20.
yeah, it's pretty.
Vegas is
spot
usually
on.
pretty spot on. And over history, over the long haul, they will be very close to 50-50, 52-50, 48 on how good they are in over-unders and spreads, unfortunately.
No, you can't.
Yeah, it can't be Vegas.
No, the house is always going to play their odds in the end. And I mean, they do a good job of playing against where Cade was talking about, where most of the money lies. That's where the money ends up not going, truthfully.
Yeah.
I think I kind of like what Cade was mentioning about a lot of underdogs. I mean, if you look at going back to 2010, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 underdogs out of what is that? How many years is that? 13? 8 out of 13 or 14 years, and one of them was a NA, so you can't even judge. There was no underdog. I don't know. I'm kind of liking the underdog Chiefs in this one. It's kind of funny to have Kansas City and underdog in the same sentence, but I think if you are just looking at patterns and trends, I think it says that Kansas City is probably going to win this game, especially if you're looking at the spreads versus like the results of the last 15, 20 years.
Yeah, with this spread, I think it'll, like we've been talking about, either by field goal or something at 1.5. It'll be very, it's not going to be like the Steelers were -7. The underdog was able to cover that because they only lost by 4. So it does show up as an underdog winning against the spread, which is good if you're betting spreads. But same thing with the Patriots. They're -12 in that Super Bowl. They're supposed to win by 12 or more points in a Super Bowl against the Giants.
That's crazy.
But if the Giants only lost by 3, they still cover the spread. So an interesting thing is like the Eagles, if the Eagles win, they'll cover, unless for some reason the score does become a 1-point game when someone hits a 1-point winning field goal or something in that regard, which is pretty rare.
Or a 1-point, 2-point conversion safety.
Something.
That's another way you can score 1 point. I learned that.
Not too many games end by a 1 or 2-point win in most cases. So, especially 1 point, I feel like usually not down by 2 unless you're Brett Maher and missed extra points left and right.
Okay, no shade here.
No shade here, as if you don't throw more shade at Josh about Jonathan Taylor than anything on earth.
He knows how much I like JT. He knows I'm a big JT fan. We wanted him back when he was at Wisco. Yeah. You guys ever seen when they do the W like this?
Jameis Winston?
No, it's not for West Side. It's for Wisconsin. Yeah, he knows what I'm talking about. It's for Wisconsin.
Get that shit off my screen.
All right, I'm gonna have 2 questions following up. First one is, and I'll ask this to everybody, looking at recent trends, or maybe just going off of your personal preference, how would you bet this game? I'm kind of interested. I kind of want to start this off. First and foremost, obviously, with me saying that I want the Eagles to win. I think they're going to win by field goal. I'm smacking the spread for the Eagles. And then I'm smacking the under, going contrary to what I said earlier, because of the trend that's kind of been as of recently, the defensive games that the Super Bowl have led to. I mean, I feel like that's 2 ways I'd be betting it. How about what's your guys' thoughts on that?
Oh, man. I'm kind of scared on this one because Josh and I are in it. We have a friend, and I feel like if the he's a diehard Eagle fan, like maybe the biggest one you'll ever meet. And I feel like if they lose, he's going to send us a million different posts about how the Eagles can get back to the Super Bowl and win. But then if they win, we're never going to hear the end of it. And it's a disaster either way. But I want Kansas City, and trying to remove my bias, just looking at recent trends, I'd probably bet Kansas City on this one if we're just basing it off of this alone.
So you smacking the spread, you betting a money line, and then I like to believe spread's not really necessarily a fear factor, as it
No, I don't think that's too big of a spread. So yeah, I'm betting. What would that be against the spread? Favorite.
So let me first and foremost, I don't even know why I continue
right?
that. Oh. Kansas City's getting points, so you should be hitting the spread anyway.
Yeah, I mean the value. So the value at that would be, I would say, take the money line if you're being a sports bettor, because it's.
Can you explain what that means?
Yeah, so you have basically your 3 biggest bets that you ever see, besides the props, which have really taken off, is your spread, your total, and the money line. So spread and factors in the points of the score. So like I was saying, the Patriots were -12. They had to win by 12 or more points if you took that spread.
They cover, right?
Yeah, they lost. Okay. So you would have lost your money. And if they only won by a field goal, you would have lost your money. So with that, like, you when it's this low, and so what I was going to say is I would be taking the money line, and the money line is just them winning the game. The points have nothing to do with it. They just need to win the
Okay.
game. You need to be hoisting the Lombardi Trophy in order for your bet to hit. So I was going to say on what you guys were talking about is the money line is plus money, which is you get minus odds is like you kind of lose a little bit of your initial bet is the best way to explain it. So if you bet $10, you only win like 9 something. I think like something like that. But if it's plus money, if you bet $10, depending on how much plus it is, it's like, just say plus 100 is usually, you'd win another $10. You don't like lose a ton, but you're not losing money because if you win your bet, you get like $19, if that makes sense.
Okay, so I would. Or were you done?
No, so yeah.
Oh,
Like,
okay, my bad.
if you want to give me a scenario, like, yeah, if you bet $10 on the Eagles for say, and for easiest sake, they win, you get $19 because you get your initial bet back and then the
Okay.
winning. If you
So
took
question.
Kansas City, you get the $10 and $10 more.
So if I wanted to take Kansas City in this one, that'd be considered betting against the spread, right?
If you're taking the spread. If you're taking the money line, you're just taking the money line. You're saying Kansas City Chiefs.
No. Okay, so if I'm saying like Kansas City by 3, that'd be betting against the spread.
So what he's saying necessarily is if you choose to take the spread, then you would be betting against the spread. If you were choosing to bet money line, if you think Kansas City is going to win straight up, then you will. It's not against the spread. You're just betting.
No, I'm talking about spread. I'm not talking about like.
So yeah, you would, if you wanted to say like you are saying, if you want to take Chiefs against the spread, you would take plus 1.5.
But that's if you
Okay,
think that
I see what you mean.
the
I see
Chiefs
what you
would
mean. And then
lose
they
by
would have
1.
to.
That's like
They'd have to win by 1 point.
No,
one
they
half
wouldn't
or
have.
more.
They don't even have to win. They just have to
They
lose,
lose
by
by 1
point.
Yeah, as long as they don't lose.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense. And then, so yeah, to answer that, what do you guys think of the over and under for the Super Bowl? Are you guys taking the over or the under?
Austin said under.
Yeah, I'm taking
I'm
under.
taking the over.
The pattern shows under, but I'm gonna take the over on this one.
I'm taking over. 2 high-powered offenses.
I'm gonna join on the over trend just because it's been the last 4 years. I feel like Vegas might flip that. And I know a lot of people like to read trends and look into trends, and they're like, 4 of the last 5 have been under. I'm taking the under. Usually Vegas will be like, nope, right back at you. Here comes the over. So looking at the trends, I'll probably take the over because, like you said, Jason, when you look at it, you go, okay, 25-25 or 26-26 for that to be 52. And I kind of predict the game to be Eagles by like a field goal or a touchdown, 31-20. What is that? 31-24.
28. If it's a field goal game, 31-28.
Yeah, and then that with the over factored in, yeah, something like that.
So you're
So Kid and Austin, you guys are taking Philly, and Josh and I are taking Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like
So
that.
are you walking? Are you walking back your score prediction, Austin? Because you said earlier you thought it was going to be 31-28.
Yeah, I'm taking my step back because honestly, like, I think this defense, I think it'll be more of a defensive bout than I anticipated earlier, which is kind of a surprise that it was only 40 minutes ago I made that claim. But I wouldn't be
Lots
surprised.
changed.
Yeah, I think 24-21 is a reasonable score. And that would
Whoa. Really? With the top 3 offenses?
Well, they're both averaging like that much. You know, like
they're both averaging points a game.
They're also averaging giving up
20
points a game, right? Isn't that right?
Yeah, so call it.
I reckon.
So that's right about the over under. That's like that's where Vegas got the number.
In between.
Yeah, 25 and a half.
What do you say?
0.25.
In sports betting, we'd call that sharp.
I didn't hear what you said.
I said you're being sharp. I'm sure you've heard that term. You're betting like a sharp.
Yeah, I know. Thinking it's gonna actually play right on the lines, but it never really does.
No,
but it's wishful thinking.
With
I don't
evidence.
have money to bet, so.
I was about to say, bro, I'm not betting on this shit. No way.
Don't do it.
Do it. It's only a crippling.
I'd have to get a VPN or find myself an illegal bookie.
Those are
You're in
pretty.
North Carolina.
Hey, if you want to win the bet, just ask Chat GBT.
That's a subject in of itself.
It's
But anywho,
like a cheat code. All right, I'm
okay.
gonna stop sharing my screen.
Kate, if you want to talk a little bit about the coin toss.
Yeah, so I kind of have this little bit pulled up real quick. I'll just read it out loud. It's from covers.com talking about the Super Bowl in the NFL. It's like a betting trend site. So the coin toss has come up as tails in 29 of the past 56 Super Bowls, including 5 of the past 9. But heads have won 4 of the last 5 coin tosses, including last year. Since Super Bowl in 2014, the coin toss winner has gone to lose the Super Bowl in each of those games. An 8-0 skid, making the 24-32 all time. And then, yeah, so basically with that is like, it says, I think I told you guys earlier wrong. They have this wrong, but basically this one's saying the coin toss winner has gone on to lose the Super Bowl, and they're 0-8 in the last 8 Super Bowls. I think I told them when we first got on, the loser ended up losing, but maybe it is the winner. If you win the coin toss, you're predicted to lose out of the last 8 times, which I thought was very interesting. And I think, Jason, you had one other, was it another trend that you were talking about with something else?
No, I wasn't talking about a trend, but I was just saying, well, if you lose a coin toss, it might as well start the parade.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I did say it right. Maybe when I was just starting it out loud, it was confusing me. But
Yeah.
interesting. The last 8 of them, depending if you win, you're going to lose the game.
I'm slapping money on the Chiefs winning the coin toss.
Yeah, see, I would bet on something like that. I think prop bets would be a lot more fun than betting on like money line or spread.
Who was it? Pat McAfee that bet like 50 grand on the coin toss and they lost?
Yeah,
last year.
I'm huge.
Yeah, they lost it.
Yeah.
They bet on heads or tails. I don't remember which one it was, but
he makes that every Aaron Rodgers Tuesday though.
Probably more than that.
For the guys that have the Chiefs, the one I was reading out when we're between segments was the team wearing white has won 15 of the past 18 Super Bowls, and the Chiefs are the road team this year and will be wearing white. So that's on the
Wait, what was that again? I didn't.
So the team wearing white has won 15 of the past 18 Super Bowls, and the white team's usually the road team, which is the Chiefs. So
Green Bay wore green and they won. So good.
Well,
Austin's like good for you.
real quick, Josh. Just because you mentioned Aaron Rodgers, and I feel like it's impossible for us to be on here. Did you hear about his 4-day hibernation thing?
Bro, we're ending this.
Yeah.
We're ending this.
I would like to say, as soon as I said Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, I looked at Austin. And I knew I could just see the throw up coming to his throat.
Bro, it's just the fact that we are talking about betting odds, and somehow,
Austin,
we made our way to Aaron Rodgers, bro.
All that pain you felt with Rodgers, you're gonna feel with Jordan Love now.
All right. On that note, we're ending this segment. And we're moving on to our next segment, which is going to be related to a little bit about the Pro Bowl and what they can do in the future to kind of make it more